Alrighty, hey gang, welcome back, you guys. Episode 152 of Zero Carb Journal. I'm Matt, as always, and good morning, you guys. How are ya? Happy Sunday. Happy 2021. Hope you guys are having an awesome new year. Hope you guys are having a great week. Hope you're having a great weekend. Hi, welcome. Good morning, everybody. So here we are, it's Sunday morning. It's pretty early here. It's not super early. It's 6:38 on a Sunday morning, and yeah, hope you guys are doing good. I hope you guys have had a great week. Hope you guys had a good holiday and all that. Happy New Year. Hope you guys are excited about 2021 like I am. Welcome. Good morning. So, what a week. What a couple weeks, huh? Hope you guys have had good ones. I've had pretty good weeks. I've been a little bit frustrated by my just getting thrown off my routine. It's so funny. I used to hate routine, and it turns out I guess I really like it as I've gotten older here. You know, I've really learned how to make routines, work for me. I really appreciate the routines that I come up with. I've been working hard. I've got my notebook with my goals and stuff, and those goal notebooks and goal lists kind of lead to routines. And I've found over the last few years I've really been enjoying that. And come to find out, these holiday weekends, 2 weeks in a row now with screwed up schedules, they're driving me nuts. It's so funny. I just can't even imagine the younger me looking at the older me now and going, "What? You don't like weekends?" So yeah, I've had a good couple weeks. Nothing wrong with them, but they've actually been kind of difficult for me. And I'll be honest, it's mostly just the I said it last week. It's the big blocks of downtime in between kind of my work week where my routine fits in. I've been really it's been a big part of my program to make rest one of my routines or part of my routine. Excuse me. And, so the weekends have been these rest periods, and they've been really important to me, and I take them pretty seriously in terms of, like, the rest is important because I work out hard and I, fill up my week, and then it's take a break, and it's been a good routine for me. But when I get these 3 and 4 day weekends, I just get all screwed up. So I tried to do like just pretend it was Thursday, just pretend it was Friday, and I did okay. I did my workouts and all that, but I just found myself sort of, I don't know, not bored so much as just kind of like off of my schedule and a little discombobulated. I was a little frustrated. So that's really neither here nor there, but it's just sort of a funny side note that I've noticed these last couple weeks. So I'm actually really looking forward to Monday, to tomorrow. I'm looking forward to getting back into the week. I'm looking really forward to getting back to a normal schedule, and just kind of back into routine, as it were. Holidays have been, just nice, but a little bit of a wrench in my routine gears. So yeah. This week, these last few weeks from a zero carb perspective, have been one of change for me. I know you guys know that. I mentioned a few weeks ago I was just about done eating my homegrown cows, which I've been eating pretty much exclusively with like a little bit of supplemental store-bought meat. Oh, hi Sarah. Good morning. Good morning to you, my friend. Happy New Year. Hey, Jackie Jam. All right. Everybody's here. Right on, you guys. Thanks so much for being here. Happy New Year, Jackie. Good to see you. Thanks so much, you guys, for being here. That's awesome. So I was just going to say that my food has been changing a little bit, and I did mention, I think last week I told you about my Costco trip, how I went and I bought some inexpensive frozen pre-made patties. They're pretty fatty, 100% beef, and I think they're 80/20 or something like that. They might be more, actually. They might be 75/25. I'm not sure. They're fatty when I cook them. So frozen burger patties. I bought some brisket. I sliced it thin. I bought a ham and I sliced it thin. You guys know I have problems with bacon, but I was kind of craving some of that fried pork in my mix. And so I bought some ham, and I told you guys I bought goat cheese, and I bought cheddar cheese, and eggs. I think that's about it. So I've been transitioning a little bit these last couple weeks and changing to the store-bought meat, and also changing to, I was just mostly eating my homegrown ground beef with like a little ribeye to supplement the fat, and some eggs these last few weeks. And so this week I've been doing like a little mix of everything. And Jackie says, "What kind of ham do you get?" I've always thought it had sugar in it. And yes, Jackie, ham is terrible in terms of like the stuff in it. And I was at Costco, and I looked at, they had like 4 or 5 different ones, and I looked at them all, and they all have, a bunch of stuff. Typically sugar, almost for sure. And then they almost always have like a lot of preservatives, sodium pentasorbitate, and all sorts of, chemical names. So, I typically would avoid that stuff. I'd be pretty wary. But I was kind of branching out a little bit this week. It's the new year, and I was sort of just ready to expand my horizons, and then quickly pull them back in again like I usually do. But yeah, so I thought I'd try the ham. I didn't want to buy bacon. I get sucked into that trap too often, and I just was like, no, I'm not going to go down that road this time. So what I did is I bought a ham, and I put it on my meat slicer. I sliced it really thin like bacon. And so what I've been doing is I've been cooking about 4 of those burger patties, and they're like a third pound, so a pound and a third of burger. But it's really fatty, so I'm eating a lot less by weight than I was. Pound and a third burger. This is per day. I just, do my 1 cook a day. And then usually a few pieces of ribeye or brisket. I still have some ribeye left over. So thin sliced bacon sliced fatty meat, beef. And there's just a couple pieces of that. It's probably quarter pound, maybe, probably. And then a really little bit of ham, usually just 2 little slices, like little Canadian bacon type pieces, maybe a couple ounces, and 2 eggs. And so that's kind of been the staple for my days. I cook it up all at once. I fry the living crap out of that meat, like I told you guys last week. This burger, the first time I cooked it, I just took frozen burgers and threw them on the grill, on the flat top. And so they were thick. And I tried to sear them, but I ate them with a lot of the meat inside, just kind of like normal people would cook a burger. Excuse me, you guys. I got my morning throat here going. I apologize. But so I took those burgers. The first time I cooked them, I just cooked them frozen, so I didn't get to squish them. Is the point of that? I didn't get to smash burger them and fry them. I did try and fry them, but they were still pretty thick. And when I went to eat those, you guys, they were so gross. I'm not gonna lie. I was like almost gonna cry. I hated them. I had filled my freezer with this stuff, so I was like, oh, bummer. This is really gross meat. And I mean, they were really inexpensive, so it is like the bottom of the barrel at Costco, which I'd like to think is a little better than the bottom of the barrel somewhere else, but maybe not. Anyways, it tasted just gross. Just tasted like, I mean, it's not bad, but that when you buy the cheapest beef and it tastes like it's old, it just tastes bad, old. So that was the first time I tried it. I didn't get very far. I took a few bites, and I just hated it. It was so gross, but it was so fatty, it filled me up. And it sounds awful, says Jackie, and it was awful. But I solved it, and now I'm actually really enjoying it. And what the difference was if I thaw those burgers out, and I smash them super thin, like I was talking about last week, and I fry them really hard, so they're all like bacon burgers. They're just fried, crispy. It's delicious. I love it. It's so funny. I was hating it before, and as long as I fry it, it's delicious, and it's really fatty. And so fried, I'm actually getting, even fried, I'm getting, I think, a lot more fat than I was before on my homegrown meat. So these last few weeks, I just did that one bad experience with the burgers thick, and I've since been smashing them. I loved it right from the get-go, and I'm totally satisfied. So yeah, it fixed it for me. Yeah, thanks, Jackie. I was like, oh, this is gonna be awful. What am I gonna do? I thought I was just going to work through it over the course of a year or whatever. And as it turns out, I'm eating it every day and really looking forward to it. So to wrap that up, it's a bowl of about 1.25 pounds of burger, a little bit of ham, a little bit of brisket or ribeye, a couple fried eggs. And what I do is it's funny, but I take my kitchen shears and I just chop it all up, because if I don't do that, then I'll eat a big bite of ham, or so I just chop it all up and mix it all up and make like a hash of it, of like ground chopped beef, and it's so good. It is so good. Sarah, I know Sarah says yum, and it's crazy, you guys. I just have been loving it. So that's the sort of base of my staple, and what I wanted to add was that I wanted to add that I've did experiment with that goat cheese. Sarah, you mentioned last week that goat cheese was something that you really enjoyed and was good for you. I found that I really enjoyed it. I didn't have any real obvious downsides, but I did have a couple. Like I was kind of gassy and I had some crampy nights and things like that, but it wasn't terrible. And I feel like if I eat that goat cheese occasionally, probably just fine. So that was pretty exciting. I did really enjoy it. I didn't miss it when it went away, so I'm not sure how much I'll feel like I really need or want to add it, but I did enjoy it, so I can add it, and I probably will do it again. Now, on New Year's, I thought I'd try the cheddar. And as you guys know, I've thought that the cheddar would cause me problems. I tried so very little. I tried such a modest amount because I was scared. And so I just added one tiny slice from the end of one of those small, like it's not a Tillamook. I got like some Irish sharp cheddar that was just milk and salt. But one of those really small blocks, they're like 2-ounce blocks or something, and I took a little slice off the end. So like half an inch wide by like 2 inches long. I'm not kidding, it was that small. I don't even think it was an ounce. I bet it was measured in grams. And I enjoyed it. It added a little sharp bite to my meal. I didn't notice anything odd that day or that evening, but that was New Year's, and since then, it's now the 3rd, so I ate that on 2 days ago. First night not so bad, and since then I've had terrible nights twice in a row. This last night was awful. I was up all night revisiting the toilet, and it was just straight liquid. Now I didn't get sick like my normal sick nights. This was something different, but I was waking up with just my guts just hurting, and straight liquid, like it was like water. There was no color. So but goat cheese, Jackie says, dang, but goat cheese doesn't do that to you. And that's right, goat cheese didn't do that to me. And it was so little of that cow's cheese that I'm like, did it really do that? And at this point, it's the only thing I can think that did that. And I'm certainly not going to try any right now again because I still feel terrible. But I'm wondering, if maybe it was something else. I don't know. It seemed like such a tiny amount of cheese that it almost seems impossible. But boy, if I'm that sensitive, then maybe I'm that sensitive. So I don't know. It was interesting. It wasn't direct enough, but I definitely have felt these last couple nights a different kind of bad than I've felt in a long time. And so yeah, so I do. I'm gonna say that I'm gonna guess it was that cow's cheese, and I think I'll try it again in a couple weeks. But I'm not gonna try it again back to back. But I'll see if I can, because I said I was really sick, and I have had a couple bad nights, but they haven't been terrible. I ate such a small amount that, it's just sort of like an inconvenience. I'm so used to bathroom issues. There's just sort of an inconvenience, and I didn't, vomit or have any real, I wasn't close to my syncope events or anything like that. It wasn't a scary bad. It was just like, oh yeah, this is not as good as it was. So, yeah, so there's that. So there's my food experiments for the week. It's funny, isn't it, how it never seems to it's just such a progression, right? I can continually experiment and continually tweak little details out of it. So yeah, it is what it is. So that was cheddar, yeah, Jackie. So let's see. Sarah Martin says, "Did you watch the Vitamin D podcast I recommended?" Sarah, I apologize, I did not. I have read so much about vitamin D. I've followed Igor. Is it Igor? Ivor? Ivor? I think you sent me an Ivor thing. I know he's been really hot on the vitamin D thing. I followed along for a while, Sarah, but you know me. No offense, but I don't buy it. I mean, I buy it. I think I probably should be eating. I should have some vitamin D. But I've tried off and on, and I feel worse when I supplement with vitamin D. I think it's because of the oils in it. I've said that. But I've never really, I play with my vitamin D. I like to experiment with it. But when it's low or when it's high, it doesn't seem like I feel any different. So I don't know. I see everyone like, you gotta have thousands of vitamin Ds, and Ivor Cummins, he is brilliant. But I don't buy it. I don't buy those numbers. I don't buy that need. I think that humans have been around for a long time without taking vitamin D supplements. And maybe mine's a little low, but I'm not going to take supplements. They make me feel worse. So I don't know what to do about it, Sarah. So that's just, my solution is to continue to move forward, make progress, observe how I feel, and take the steps I can and see how they make me feel. And the steps that I've taken towards increasing my vitamin D have made me feel worse. And the steps that I've taken that have just sort of allowed my vitamin D to be naturally moderated seem to be feeling fine. I don't, like I've constantly said, I don't see any way through, like when I've tried vitamin D, it's not like, oh man, I feel so much better, but my stomach hurts a little bit. It's not like that. Or I'd make, more effort. It doesn't seem to make a difference. They say it does, but I don't feel it. So, I know they say it makes a difference in COVID and all that other stuff. Maybe, Ivor seems like a smart guy, but doesn't seem to really, like I said, it doesn't seem to really have any real effect on me, like in my experience that I can observe. So there's that. So no offense. I really appreciate it. I did revisit it. I did sort of re-look at all of that stuff. Those guys have been saying that stuff for years, and they've been pushing towards that conclusion. And I think it definitely has some merit. And I'd like more vitamin D. I'm not anti-vitamin D, but like I said, I'm not sure. I mean, I just get as much sun as I can and eat all the stuff I can, but that's about all I can do as far as I'm concerned. I'm not going to eat olive oil filled with some, chemical vitamin D, and I'm not going to go seek it out. I tried cod liver oil. I remember that made me so sick. Oh my gosh. So anyways, that's all. But thank you for that. So, and Jackie says, I like natural vitamin D. Sunshine is best. Yeah, that seems to be what works best for me too, Jackie. And I do need to test my vitamin D again, and I probably will, but, it comes out low, and then I just kind of worry about it. It doesn't seem to make a difference, to be honest. So, like I said, I'm just going to go with what I can observe. It's been a successful program for me so far. I'm 4 years in. I figure low vitamin D was going to hurt me because of this way of eating, then I'd probably know it by now, don't you think? Maybe that's idiotic. I don't know. It might be. Who knows? Anyways, so Jackie says, we have no clouds today. Gonna see the sun. That's exciting, Jackie. So it rained. I mean, I don't know what you guys are used to, but this last 24 hours here, I've probably had like 3 inches of rain. So it rained my property is a disaster right now. Everything's flooded. There's standing water on the hills. It's been so wet. And then last night, middle of the night, since I was up all night, I got to see it. It cleared up, and we had a beautiful bright moon and a bunch of stars. and I was looking forward to dry and sunny today as well, Jackie. But I think I just checked the weather, and we're going right back into the rain. So we're gonna be in the rain for a few weeks, it looks like. But a little break this morning, maybe a little bit of sun for an hour or two before we get another half inch of rain or so. And yeah, it's fine. I am looking forward to hopefully drying out before too much longer goes on. But yeah, and Jackie says it rained all day yesterday there, and and Jackie, I love your weather there too. You guys have lovely weather. Too far from the ocean for me, but it is nice there, and I will revisit the east side at some point. I love that part of our state. So hey, before I'm gone here, I'd like to do a quick reminder about my sponsor, Let's Get Checked. These guys offer home blood tests where you can check your progress, check your baselines before you start carnivore. It's a great way to get yourself into carnivore with really good data. Track your progress, know where you're at. You can test your cholesterol levels, you can test your CRP, inflammation, you can test male or female hormones. There's a whole host of things: vitamins, vitamin E, vitamin B, vitamin D, blah blah blah. You can get a whole bunch of blood tests before you start carnivore. Along your carnivore journey, it gives you a bunch of great data for you to evaluate how you're doing and make your decisions, just like we just talked about with vitamin D. You can find out if yours is low and if you want to try taking supplements. So letsgetchecked.com. You can use my links in the description, trylgc.com, and use my code 0carb for 20% off your purchases. It helps me out a ton. I think it's a really good thing for any carnivores to do, and it's been a big part of my life these last 6 months. I really appreciate their support and all your guys' support as well. So thank you guys so much for all of that and allowing me to do that. And Jackie says, does Let's Get Checked help you to read the results? And yes, Jackie, they do. They have really great doctors on staff. And that's a part of the service that they offer. With every test that you purchase, you have the option, if you desire, to consult with their doctors to go over your tests and get an idea of what those mean to you, and get better, understanding of your results. And so I've been really pleased with them. They've been really great, really responsive, super fast. Yeah, they're fantastic. For me, the difficulty of going to the doctor just to get some of that data was it was too much, and this has made it so easy that I'm just much more likely to get that data on a regular basis and check my things. So really highly recommended. They've been great to me, and I do want to give it back. So if you guys get a chance, please support me via Let's Get Checked, and try my code 0carb for 20% off. So and Jackie says, I've heard on other podcasts that many regular docs pay attention to the wrong numbers in cholesterol, wondering if LGC does it right. Well, Jackie, what they do is they give you all the numbers. And so it's up to you, really, to determine which ones you're going to put more or less weight on. And then when you talk to your doctor, of course, it's going to depend on what their perspective is. Now, I'm really fortunate. My doctor weights things like the triglyceride HDL ratio. He puts much more weight on that than he puts on just straight LDL numbers, and also the difference between large and small LDL particles makes a difference. And so those are things that, in our carnivore community, we tend to look for that at that ratio. We tend to look at the small and large particle breakdown, whereas a lot of doctors will just look at an overall LDL figure, and they'll just say, LDL's high, you're at risk. And that's not the case. My doctor, even outside of our community, that's not the case. Even in the normal diagnostic parameters that the regular doctors use, not low carb people, if they use the proper scale, they'll use that same weighting. So my doctor looked at my numbers, and I had sky high LDL. I don't remember what it was. It's been a few years now. It was 323 or something like that. Really high. But my trig and HDL, is that the right? It's been so long since I've done these numbers. I might be getting HDL. I don't remember. I think it is HDL. Anyways, that ratio was amazing, like 1.5 or something, where they say 2 is the high side. And my small and large particles, and again, I'm going to get it backwards, but it was the right direction. I was looking great. And so anyways, my doctor said, if I look at your numbers on the regular chart, if you don't tell me anything about low carb and if you don't make any point about any of that stuff, if I just do what my doctor's sheet tells me to do, he said, he said to me, your risk is so low. He goes, it wants me to test you again in 6 years. And that was when I was 50. So, yeah, that, how to read those numbers and all those things. Let's Get Checked does a really good job of giving you the data. They do not seem to, in my experience, harp on cholesterol, high LDL. They're probably, though, going to be, just like most doctors, they're going to be, restricted by the nature of the code of what they do to give you sort of the consensus accepted answer, the general scientific consensus answer. And so what I'm saying by that is saying that while it's not the really, it's not the really low carb interpretation, and it's not the LDL is just going to kill you interpretation, but it's kind of the median. And in my experience, if our ratios are good and our particle size is good, which takes a different test, but if our signs basically are good in certain parameters, even on a normal test, it shows that we are low risk. So Jackie says, I just ordered the Cholesterol Clarity book to help me understand it better, and you're going to do the Let's Get Checked this month so you can compare your 219 numbers after being zero carb a whole year. So exciting. Yeah, Jackie, that's great. I'm so glad to hear you're going to do it. And do your education on the cholesterol. I'm excited to hear you're going to read the book. I went so deep down that rabbit hole when I first started 4 years ago. You guys remember me talking about it a lot. I was a big follower of Dave's. And I've talked about it in the past, how I've sort of just stepped back from that because I gained my confidence in this way of eating, and I kind of got through all my question marks, and so what I'm trying to say is I don't have those doubts anymore, and so I don't really put much time, I don't spend much brain time on that stuff these days. So as you can tell, I've kind of let a lot of it slide out of my head. I just forgot about a lot of it because I'm confident now. But it took a long time to get there, and a lot of that was learning about those different ways of viewing the cholesterol data. And Dave, Cholesterol Code, was very, very helpful with that. And there's Cuner. Cuner, thanks so much for being here, bud. I'm so glad to see you, man. I know my schedule is all funny, but I'm glad that it kind of worked out. So, and Cuner says, I'm slowly getting back into it lately, and that's good, and it is cyclical, and I do notice that in myself, that I fall away from these ideas, and then I'll be like, well, like vitamin D, it's a good one, for instance. We're talking about it today, and now my brain's thinking about it. I'm like, well, maybe I am low. I mean, it's going to hurt me, So we do go revisit these things, and I think the more cycles we go through of revisiting those things, and the more we come to those same conclusions, as time goes by, we go, do I still feel good? Am I still not dying of a heart attack? Whatever. And as time goes on, we revisit those questions, and hopefully the data looks the same after years, and we go, yeah, okay, I am doing good. I think we get more and more and more confidence, and it just sort of reinforces that cycle of sort of stepping farther and farther away from it. So at this point right now, I'm feeling really distance from all that stuff. I feel so confident in my choices and my way of eating, and I think part of that too is maybe a lack of socializing. You guys are the only people I really talk to about this kind of stuff, so I don't have to defend myself or shore up my defenses with regards to arguments about these things. So there's that too, that I'm just sort of, it just all doesn't really matter anymore. So Jackie says, I step back too, I'm more into how I feel instead of numbers, and I get asked questions about it, though, where I share being zero carbs, so I'd like to understand. Exactly. Oh, that's funny, Jackie. I didn't read your comment, but that's exactly what I was just saying, is since I haven't been socializing, I've been less motivated to, build up my ammo, as it were, my educational ammo, and And I've noticed that. And Kuner says, I've been a bit tired lately. Might be the lockdown stuff or maybe vitamin D. There's been almost no sunshine here lately. Yeah, I've been tired too, although not fatigue. I wonder if it's just seasonal. I'm not sure. But I have been run a little low. I mean, I've been actually that's not true. I've been feeling good and strong, but I've just been taking some naps. I haven't been like tired through the days. I've just I mean, I guess I've had time to take them, so it's almost actually been more like, you know, just a good thing to do. But anyways, there's all that. Let's see what else. I don't know. I think maybe that's it for today. I'm really looking forward to today. We got some great football to watch, which you guys know I've been a football fan these last few years. And I'm really looking forward to this week, to the kicking off the new year and getting back into the routine. And you guys know New Year's routines. I sat down and wrote down my goals. I kind of restructured my week, my workouts and stuff. I've been riding my bike trainer. I'm pretty darn motivated to incorporate a lot more cardio exercise in the coming months. I added more weight to my weighted pull-ups. So yeah, I've got like all these sort of new little bits of my routine that are coming together for the new year. I think that's probably pretty normal. I've had a couple weeks these last few weeks to sort of adjust pieces and write down my goals and things like that. And yeah, I'm really excited about the new year. We've all been in a holding pattern. I've definitely been in a holding pattern. I don't know that it's going to break anytime real soon here in our country. We've got some messed up stuff we got to get through first before I can feel comfortable. I mean, before any other countries are even going to let me buy a plane ticket. I'm still dying to go to Uruguay, and of course they're not letting us in there, which good for them. Smart folks. One of the reasons I want to go there. So I'm really looking forward to the upcoming year, and I'm really looking forward to breaking out of this holding pattern and starting to travel. And that's kind of why I'm so excited about these coming months, because even if travel were to open up, I couldn't travel right now anyways. I need to kind of put some more pieces of my personal puzzle together, and so that's what's on the agenda these coming months that I'm really excited about, is focusing a little more on getting my financial picture shored up and my rental situation and things like that, and just kind of getting myself ready to hopefully finally maybe break free a little bit and do some traveling. So that's what I'm looking forward to, and I'm really excited about the change in the new year, and just everything. I feel like we got a lot of exciting stuff coming down the pipe. Here's a big rain squall just starting up right now, so I guess I'm not going to get the sun as it turns out. But Jackie says, I just spent yesterday looking at my pictures from last March, and it makes me excited and hopeful for spring and put some positive in the brain. Yeah, Jackie, me too. I'm so positive and excited about spring. Once we hit that winter solstice, something happens, and I instantly, like, my brain just goes, oh yeah, the days are getting longer, and I instantly start going into spring mode. I know, especially where I live now, I've got kind of a long, dark, wet, cold few months ahead of me. It's really easy to get optimistic right now. But I know I've got to kind of buckle down and hold on for a little bit here, but I'm super optimistic. So I'm glad to hear you guys are too. So anyways, you guys, I think that's probably enough for today. We've been going for quite a while. So I want to say, as always, you guys, thank you so much for all of your support, all of your kind comments. You guys mean so much to me. I just can't tell you how wonderful it is to get up here every Sunday morning and have this little time to reflect on our progress and hang out with you guys. So thanks for being here. Really means a lot to me. I hope you guys just have an awesome kickoff to this new year. I hope you have a fantastic week. Hope you guys really, really, really commit yourself to your goals and making progress and staying positive, or whatever it is you're working on. Those are mine. I don't know what yours are. Mine are staying positive in the moment, being here now, continuing to progress with my workouts, and continuing to progress with my goals of financial independence at home, and mostly just staying healthy. My number one goal, top of my list, is health and positivity first. So I'm not forgetting that one. It's kind of what got me here. is making sure that what I focus on more than anything is making sure that I'm feeling as good as I can so that I can be positive. So there you go. So thanks you guys so much for being here. Let you guys go. Really appreciate your time spent. Thank you so much. Hope you guys have a great week. Yeah, stay the course, make some progress, stay positive. I'll hit the outgoing video, and I will see you guys next week.